Now, there were some quotes from the Cowboys contingent in Palm Beach, specifically Stephen Jones, hinting that they might be doing something at the quarterback position, and they did it yesterday. Joe Milton, 6th-round pick out of Tennessee last year, who started the Week 18 game that the Patriots really didn't want to win. They really didn't want to win it. If they'd lost, they'd be holding the number 1 overall pick in the draft right now. But they won it against a Bills team that really didn't want to win the game because they didn't want the Patriots to have the 1st overall pick in the draft. But there's just been this quiet buzz about Joe Milton. And there's been plenty of talk that the Patriots are going to trade him because they need it to be Drake May's team. And having Joe Milton there, a guy who's confident he can play, it could undermine Drake May, and it could lead to a, wait for it, schism within some reaches of the locker room that maybe Milton's the better option than Drake May, especially if May should struggle this year. So it felt like this trade was coming. I was surprised that it was the Cowboys, Shireen, when you have teams out there who currently have needs at the quarterback position and need to be thinking about who's going to play now and in the future. I thought those teams would be more inclined to take a Joe Milton because he is clearly going to be back up in Dallas for the 3 remaining years on his rookie contract.
Yeah, I had heard rumblings that they were interested in Joe Milton, so from that standpoint, was a surprise. To me, it's a great trade for the Cowboys. Unlike the Trey Lance trade, I was on this show last year or 2 years ago when they traded for Trey Lance, and they gave up too much. As John Lynch publicly said, they gave up too much to get Trey Lance. I like this trade for the Cowboys. I like him as a backup behind Dak Prescott. They weren't going to pay Cooper Rush. I'm going to bring a name out, Mike, that probably only you and I are old enough to remember, but Don Strock. Don Strock made a history in this league of playing quarterback. He played for 15 years, made 22 starts in those 15 years, but he was a very good backup. I think that's what Cooper Rush is. I think in the short term, you can win with Cooper Rush. He's played 8 seasons. He made 14 starts. He's 9-5, 20 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. But he's not going to be your long-term quarterback. He knows where he stands. He knows what his role is. He's accepted that. The Cowboys weren't going to give him what the Ravens gave him. They said that right after the season ended. He got a 2-year, $12.2 million deal with the Ravens. So they had to find a backup quarterback. They either had to draft one or they had to re-sign Trey Lance or go somewhere else to get one, draft one, however they were going to get it. To me, this is their best-case scenario. They still have Will Grier, and now they have Joe Milton, who they think they might be able to develop. They like that developmental quarterback behind Dak. But this guy could play for the Cowboys. 3 of the past 5 seasons, Dak Prescott's missed at least 5 games. He's missed 25 games total in the past 5 seasons. So this is a guy who could come to Dallas and actually have to take the field, and they'll see what they have in him. But I think it's going to be an important preseason for him to learn the offense, see what he looks like in the offense. And then they can decide who the number 2 is. Is it Will Grier? Is it Joe Milton?
Don Strock, by the way, entered the NFL in 1974 out of Virginia Tech. He went straight to the Dolphins. Now, he got there 1 year too late as it relates to the Dolphins winning Super Bowls. He was with the Dolphins through 1987, so he was part of the team for 2 Super Bowls that didn't work out. He had one final season with a different team. Shireen, for the new car,
oh gosh,
and $5,000 in cash, can you name the other team that Don Strock played for to cap his career, and he actually started 2 games that season?
Oh my God, I'm just going to pull a team out of thin air, the Broncos.
Let's see. Oh, close. Oh, you were close. You had the first 3 letters. It was the Browns. The Browns is the Browns, so he was with the Browns in one of those 2 years that they went to the AFC Championship and lost to.
All right, enough of that. What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Let me say, definitely send in prayers here, because I know I'm not the only one grieving. John McGrew, prayers to you, Mark. Recently lost your baby sister, man. Feel sorry for you, buddy. Sending you prayers as well. It sucks that we all have to lose people. Shout out to Ruben Walls. being a channel member. I thought you were a channel member before, Ruben, but welcome. Logan Motorsport, there is my email address there, cowboysmark94@gmail. And let me say hello to all the lovely ladies. We have, of course, Regina Green, Miss Hot Sauce, Lola, how you doing?
I'm burning for you.
Alan Williams, and of course, Dirty Sanchez. Hey. Let's see, Roland's review. How you doing, Roland? Hopefully everything is well. Gina Dallas Diva. What's up, Gina Dallas Diva? How are you doing? And I'm going to try and see Dwayne Sweeney in the house. Dem Boys Kicks, thank you very much. Katrina's Kiss. Katrina's Kiss. Damn. Renee Allen, I feel bad for you, buddy. Sending prayers to you. You just lost your dad recently as well. I'm going to try to talk football, and I'm going to be 100% real with you guys. I have not. The course of the last month has been cray-cray for me. It's been crazy, and I have really not been able to even really sit down and look at all the draft picks and things. Not that I am the draft guy. There's much, much better people than I am, like Law Nation or Vosh Lombardi and even Game Time Brian and stuff. So I'm not even going to pretend that I know the draft picks because I just don't have time to right now. We've got a lot of things that are going on and so on. But we do have hey, Ruben, no problem, man. No problem. Appreciate you being there, man. Oh, it looks like, Ruben, you still got your Lombardi trophy sitting there. So you're good. You're still there for all those years. Sugar Daddy. What's up, Sugar Daddy? It's been a crazy week. What's amazing to me is I realize it doesn't matter what the Cowboys do. It doesn't matter. People are always going to be pissed off and mad about it. It just is. So the Cowboys trade for Joe Milton. And this is, maybe it's just I've been looking at too much Twitter, and Twitter is just toxic. Okay. When you go on Twitter, you better have, your boxing helmet on. You better have boxing gloves because it's going to be a fight. So reading some of the comments about getting Joe Milton, and, they were going through and they were looking at the trades that the Cowboys made. Do you realize that all of the trades that the Dallas Cowboys made were all with comp picks? They were all made with comp picks. Woke Yusuf, what's going on? Sugar Daddy Williams, what's going on? How are you doing? John Jones, hey. All of those are the compensatory picks for players that we lost last year. So they're playing with house money. And what they've done basically on all of them is they've kind of moved back a little bit further, but they still got a pick in return. So you look at that and say, okay, we still have some more picks that we can work with to try and use those to draft somebody, or maybe package them up and move up, and maybe trade for somebody else late in the draft. They're actually trying to do something. There's no, just because you try to do something doesn't mean you're going to succeed. It doesn't. But you have to at least try to do something to get better. It's kind of like when they say you can't, the lottery, you can't win if you don't enter, right? Well, last year the Cowboys didn't enter. The Cowboys just let everybody walk and said, you know what? We'll bring back Zeke. We're familiar with him. And we're already paying him dead money, so, we'll just call it water under the bridge. And you brought in Eric Kendricks. Momo, how are you doing, man? At least they are methodically trying to at least get some depth. I've got Eagle fans that have kind of taken a hiatus since my father died, as far as telling me I'm stupid. At least some of them have. There's still some out there that are a little bit on the crazy side. But they're trying to methodically fill in all the holes and make it so that way the draft will be wide open. you can't sit here and say, we're going to go ahead and we're all going to get the very top at each position when you start seeing the price tags of some of these guys. So with Joe Milton, basically we took the 5th round pick, compensatory pick, and we exchanged it with their 7th round pick. The good thing about dealing with New England is way up in the draft. So it's like a high 7th round pick. What's going on, man? How am I doing? I'm doing, I will say that I've got good days and bad days, or good moments and bad moments. I try to look at losing somebody as not what I lost, but what did I gain from them being here? In the same way, Stuart Morrison, I can look up here and I can see the helmet that's autographed by Micah Parsons that Stuart Morrison gave me, or the plaque over there of Stuart Morrison that we did, and the pictures from him. Or when I look around and I see the helmet over here from Rashid, that I see my dad all over the place here, because there's so many pieces that he's given me, especially, and I didn't realize it at the time, is the A.M. FM clock radio, because my dad always loved making clocks. We've got 3 clocks here that my dad made. And so every time you hear that cuckoo go off on that clock, I think about my dad's hands putting that together. And in a way, hearing that clock over there, tick, 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 that's my dad. And I'm a better person because I had him. And as a man who is 59 years old, to have always had a father in my life for 59 years, I have no room to complain. I have no room to complain. That's the way I'm trying to go through with it. And to know my dad didn't have any pain, he didn't suffer, and he went out on a day doing all the things that he loved doing. And that's what's giving me peace. But that doesn't mean I can't start getting teary-eyed and crying and things like that, because I do miss him. So that's how I'm doing. Sugar Daddy, it's been over 19 years since I lost my dad. Time heals all wounds. I think Jerry needs to get the belt on Micah and teach him who's daddy, and make him sign a deal. Here's the thing I'm going to say. When you hear, here's the thing. When you hear the team put out, they've offered him a contract bigger than any non-quarterback ever. But the devil's in the details. The devil's in the details. How much money is guaranteed? What stipulations are in there? They put in with Randy Gregory, hey, we offered him $75 million. That sounds great until you realize there's a clause in it that says, if you happen to get busted for anything, we can retroactively go after your money. That you may have played a whole season and done great things and stuff like that, but because you screwed up this season, we can go back and sue you for that money right there and get that. That wasn't a good deal. It wasn't a good deal. And what the Cowboys will do is they'll tell you, oh my God, we offered them all kinds of money, man. They turned down a great deal. How do we know it's a great deal? How many times have you been working for somebody and they just, out of the kindness of their heart, they were just going to go ahead and just give you an incredible deal? You go to buy a car and the car dealership, they just love you. We're going to give you a great deal. We're going to give you the underbody coating for free. You know what? We're not going to give you 10% interest rate on. No. We're not going to. You know what? We're going to give you such a great deal. We're going to give you the car underneath the suggested retail price, and we're not going to charge you any interest for it for 5 years because we're giving you a great deal. Ain't nobody ever offering nobody a great deal. Ain't nobody offering anybody a great deal. Smash them likes. Hey, Mark, how's your video coming along for your dad? I have been getting, it turns out the funeral home is actually going to do the video. So I've been working on getting all the pictures and video clips and things like that. I got clips of him. I found a clip, which is kind of funny, from 7 years ago, of my dad with my daughter and me and my mom, and he's talking about being married for 62 years. And he says to my daughter, he said, she's like, well, I'm looking for a boyfriend. And he's like, you don't need to be looking for a boyfriend. You need to be looking for a husband. And he said, we've been married for 62 years. And he said, when you find that rich husband, he said, make sure you tell me after 62 years. And he said, oh, wait, I won't be around in 62 years. You'll have to send it up to heaven. And I showed the clip to my daughter, and she was literally like, I'm still looking for that husband. And now I definitely am going to have to send it to heaven. So finding clips like that and finding clips of my dad planting plants and stuff, doing stuff that he loved, or gardening and things. I've got so many pictures. I'm blessed with stuff. So, yeah, and it's kind of like, he was literally speaking to her 7 years ago right now. And that's where sometimes you get memories and stuff that are really good. So I showed it to her, and she was just like, she started crying like crazy. My pops lived for 90 years. What a great life, man. 90 years. I know I'm not going to be taking up space for that long. Give you condolences and your family for your loss. Thank you very much. Jerry needs to call his yeah. See, here's where it gets to be interesting, because Micah Parsons, I understand, I think what Jerry was trying to do, at least some people have said, is Jerry Jones woke you up. My mom, she's okay. There's a big void. You can't be married to somebody for 69 years, your whole life, and then they're gone and not be affected. What Jerry Jones, I think, was trying to do by going directly to Micah, besides getting a good deal and slipping some shit in there to make it better for the Cowboys, is I think he was trying to basically impress upon Micah, like, hey, I'm going to pay you all this money and stuff, but I need you to be that team leader. I need you to be here for OTAs and workouts and things like that. I need you to kind of slow your roll on your podcast and impress upon him those things. And Micah, of course, said, well, you need to talk to my agent. Kayvon, yes, we are going to go to the autograph signing show tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow morning. In fact, we are. We're going to, Dak was supposed to be there, but he's canceled, and I'm okay, because Dak seems to be on a mission to get his body right. He has been working and running around like crazy and stuff, and seems like he looks like he is in incredible shape. I'm just saying it. We got clips of him actually doing some sprints and things. He's not, you can still see he's still not quite there, but we got 4 months. We got 4 months still for him to get that leg completely right. So I'm definitely, looking forward to him being in great shape. He looks like he's dropped another 10, 15 pounds. So don't be surprised if he can move around well in the pocket and do a lot of things that you are told that he can't do. Rasmussen, I can't say that. My wife just buried her grandmother, who lived to be 103. Damn. That's a long time. It's, it's funny. It's funny to always hear that Dak has got competition. It's funny because we're always looking for somebody or anybody to beat out Dak. Have you noticed that? It's Cooper Rush if you were Skip Bayless. Oh, in Rush we trust. Oh, Cooper. The team responds to Cooper Rush. They're a better team with Cooper Rush. Okay, Logan Sport, appreciate it. Yeah, right. Sugar Daddy, he does look like he could use a ham sandwich. Logan, do you know, so I was talking, so here's the great mystery. The great mystery. I thought it was Philly 500, Lola. But is there a Filthy? Is there somebody named Filthy? I know I've seen Filthy before. And it says in there, it's your daddy, Filthy. And tell your moderators to stop blocking me. What's interesting is 2 years ago, and I've got the envelope, but I can't find the letter. But I got a letter that came from Lincoln Financial Field, which was basically the same kind of talk. And the handwriting is exactly the same. And so at first, when I got this on Monday or Tuesday. I don't know which day it was. I think it was Monday that it was here. And I called Brian Green because he's a mailman. I said, if something came from Philadelphia, it would take at least 2 days to get here. Because I was trying to think if somebody was doing it at first as a sick joke, to kind of say, yeah, I'm your daddy now, like that. It wasn't Philly 500 because Philly said he's told this guy to send me a shirt, but it's supposed to be Jalen Hurts smoking the cigar after the Super Bowl. And he was like, no. So I don't think that this was meant to be malicious. I think this was done before my father passed. Because it's done kind of tongue-in-cheek. I'll read it to you because it's clearly somebody took some time. Dear son, I'm writing you this letter to bring you some joy and happiness. Now, this is where it's kind of hard because I have been watching you create content for the Cowboys, content that you're not being paid for, by the way. Apparently, this person knows nothing about YouTube because YouTube does actually pay, sometimes really well, sometimes not very well, but it depends on how hard you work it. But be as it may, you are miserably worrying about whether the Cowboys are going all in, being selective, aggressive, or whatever the hell that means. I told you time and time again, son, to stop keeping up with those damn Joneses. Ever since he told Jimmy Johnson that he could find 500 coaches that could do what he do, he has been destroying the brand, one evil star at a time for the last 30 years. No change in sight. He ain't lying. I mean, I got to admit, he ain't lying on that one. Jerry sure has screwed the pooch on it. But at the same time, son, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. No, Jeffrey Louie, Howie Roseman, and the rest of the Eagles Nation wants to thank you for your dedication in becoming the #1 content creator for your Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. No matter what, you always want to display your affection for the most passionate and obnoxious fan base in the NFL. So please accept this gift, son, from myself and Eagles Nation. Wear it proudly. For the last 30 years, we've been 4 Super Bowls. We've been to 4 Super Bowls, 8 NFC championship appearances, and there's more to come by. He doesn't say that they lost 2 of them, does he? So buckle up for the ride. So on behalf of Twiz Digga, Philadelphia, Philly 500, Philly Mike, Lord Brunson, and many, many more others that there's too many to mention, We love you. We appreciate you. Please join and campaign for the EAGLES Eagles. From your loving father, Filthy. Who the heck is Filthy? I've never heard of Filthy. Who the heck is Filthy? We have to get DK Metcalf. He's already been traded. P.S. Just a reminder, I wrote you a letter last that you are proud to reveal to your channel members, but keep this in mind. Be careful when you post your videos from outside your home. With a little searching on Google Maps, anyone can find your whereabouts. But there's no need to worry. Your address is safe with me because, and please tell your moderators stop blocking me from commenting on your live chats. They're preventing me from telling my truth. It would be appreciated. And one last thing, stop picking on your brother, Philly 500. He has 146,000 subscribers to your 136 subscribers. You can learn a lesson or two from him. Enjoy your day, son. Alan Williams, you know who you tell Alan, who is it? Who is it, Filthy? Who is Filthy? I remember Filthy. Mark, it's probably Dan Saleo. Now, you know, I don't think it's Dan Saleo because, see, you'd actually have to have a brain to at least put all those thoughts together. It would take. Filthy also visits Law Nation's channel as well. What a piece of caca. He used to be on here. Well, I guess he's hanging on the fringes. I was looking to see if it was somebody that was blocked, but I don't see a Filthy on there. Mark Andrews, did they cut him? I can't lie. In the draft, we went either Golden or Burden round 1 and Jenkins at 44. Dustin Bosley. Well, okay, so maybe it is. And what he did was he sent me a butt wipe towel. Or at least that's what it's going to become. That's what he sent me. David Wiley. Shout out to David Wiley with the super chat. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow, man. Definitely look forward to seeing you. Logan Moore, he sounds familiar. He lies. Nobody is blocked or timed out Filthy. I think I remember. Leroy will be over here actually, and my other daughter's dog will be back tomorrow. Logan Marsh, don't use it as a butt wipe. Oh man, okay, I can burn it. I can burn it. Okay, you know what? Maybe we should start a contest. What do we do with the shirt? Do we tie it to the back of my tail hitch, and just drag it while I'm driving? That's the thought. Do I burn it in the fire pit? Do I wipe my hind parts with it? What do we do with the Philadelphia Eagles shirt? It's ridiculous what losers will do. Keep it. Keep it as a trophy. You know, the funniest thing is I get on Twitter, Eagle fans are so butthurt by what I actually say that they constantly are going through and if we won the Super Bowl, I wouldn't care what anybody for the Eagles said. I'd be happy living up that we won a Super Bowl. But they're more worried about what we say. Who cares? Like Dan Saleo says, who the hell is Mark Holmes? I've never heard. Why do you care? I'm a Cowboy fan. Why do you actually care and let me trick your emotions? My name is Jeff. What's up, Jeff Lee? Sugar Daddy Game Time Lola. Put a hex on it and send it back. Well, there's no return address on it. I would send it back. And I tell you what, at first, when I first got it, I was like, I don't know who this is from. Dem Boys Kicks. Unfortunately, I have been rather busy, and I know nothing as far as our draft picks and things. That's where you got to talk to my man, Game Time Brian, because he can tell you the prospects a hell of a lot better than I can. I have not had any time whatsoever to devote to that, and I apologize. Cowboys live rent-free in the heads of Eagles. Well, I figured what I would do is, because Philly 500 said he's sending me the Jalen Hurts shirt, is I'll give it to my friend Allie. She's a big Eagles fan and stuff like that. So I'll give it a good home. How about that? Some Eagles fans take things way too far. Yeah, well, it is what it is. Brian, you know, when you put yourself out there, like this, you know that you're going to get people that are jealous or hate you, or, you know, and there's some crazy people out there, a lot of crazy people out there. And it comes with the territory. For the most part, I try and just brush it off, you know. I remember my daughter saying, my daughter first started doing YouTube, and she's got 2 channels over 100,000 subscribers, which is not easy. It's not easy. I remember seeing some comments from people, and you know, this is my daughter. This is my kids. You know, you don't mess with my kids. As Eastside Herald, who's never been heard from again. I don't know what happened to Eastside Herald. Anybody see Eastside Herald anymore? I'm just curious, because you know, when he was saying some stuff on that crazy channel, that crazy ass channel over there, that he's probably watching, and I don't mind. I'm going to say this. I don't mind that this, I don't think, was done because they knew my dad was dying. They were trying to, you know, be malicious. I think this is more a joke, and it's just ended up being, the timing ended up being wrong. And I don't think there's any fault in that one. That wasn't malicious. That was actually somebody who was like actually trying to do something funny. And I get it. We all know who the crazy one out there, which is just evil for no good reason. My dad's memorial service will be, we'll finalize it on Monday, which will be next Friday. But there's a video out there that's actually saying that I'm skipping my dad's funeral so I can go to an autograph signing. And we all know who I'm talking about. And that is just a sick individual. But that comes with the territory of being out here. But I remember seeing bad comments to my daughter, and I was like, honey, how do you take this? That you're getting real people that actually hate you. And what she said is, Dad, it doesn't matter if they like you or hate you. As far as YouTube is concerned, they only count as a person who's watching you. And that's how YouTube works, and that's how you get paid. She said the more people that actually hate you, the more you'd actually make on YouTube. So you can say Stephen A. Smith has taken that to the nth degree, and that's how he gets paid. Drew, what's up, Mark? For you and your family, hope my mom's doing well. She's having a hard time. My mom got pregnant 16, and they got married at 16 and were together her whole life. So I think it's a beautiful story, but when it becomes just one of you, I'll be real with you, is I expect my wife to outlive me. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts on that one. And after being together for 22 years, I know if I'm gone, it's going to be really hard on Tracy. That'll be a big void in her life, and the same for me. And that's why people always ask me, it's like, man, slow down, man. Why are you always doing so much? It's like, man, I got a day, and I got to get in as much as possible, because this day is gone. It's one less that I got. And that's why I try not to waste any. Mark, will mom move it? No. Lola, you got to understand, my mom is known as Miss Christmas. She does Christmas decorations and gets awards from them, from the town and everybody else. She gardens, she cans. She don't eat out. My mom is still doing everything. She took care of my dad through his illness and stuff. So she's in great shape for a person that's 83, and there's no way in the world that she would want to live with her kids in our house. So she's staying right where she is. Drew, I'm sorry, dude. I have a hard time believing that you're a minister with the crap that you talk and the way you go after people. I don't know what kind of church that is. I'll be real with you, man. Unless you repent every Sunday. MC Philly, prayers with you and your mom and your family. Thank you very much. My sister will be up tomorrow, so I'll be seeing her. I haven't seen her since Thanksgiving, which will be nice. Anyway, we're not talking about the Cowboys here. Come on, man. Y'all gonna get me up here crying. So what are your thoughts? Do you like the move for Joe Milton? Because what's crazy is immediately after Trey Lance, it blew me away that Trey Lance got signed by the Chargers for a deal that could be worth up to $6 million. I was like, Trey Lance? I mean, now probably he'll never get anywhere close to the $6 million. He'll probably have to pay like 50% of snaps and, have 20 TD passes or some crazy shit like that. So I was kind of like, wow, I'm glad we didn't re-sign Trey Lance at that kind of money. I love the move. Dem Boys Kicks, I love the move. It's funny because we now have, you got Shady McCoy out there saying Dak better get a realtor. And listen to some people are saying, well, Dak's got some competition. So didn't they say that about Trey Lance? It's Trey Lance season. Didn't they say that? Didn't it? I could have sworn that they said that about Trey Lance. Linda, lovely Linda, how are you doing tonight? Didn't they say that about Andy Dalton? Oh, there's no step back for Andy Dalton. They're the same guy. Didn't they say that? Didn't Skip Bayless say, in Rush we trust? But now, Milton, he's going to give Dak a run for his money. Yeah. Here's the reality. And we got our idiot out there, Cleveland Brown, talking head, who's up there basically saying, well, this is part of the grand scheme. I told you that the Cowboys were going to be trading, but it's for the second round pick. It's not the first one. It's the second one. And it's like, okay. All right, so you're not going to let that one go, apparently. Dak's not tradable. He's not traded. Let me ask everyone something. If Dak went down, hopefully not, but who would you like to have at backup? Milton is younger. This is true. But you could say Trey Lance was younger and could learn from Dak too, right? The deal for Trey Lance is really $2 million, which is still, I was like, veteran minimum for him. Shout out to Thomas Garrett. Thomas Garrett and Lola, 63 months. Damn, you two are the real deal. Oh, Lola, that's what I'm saying. That's literally what people are saying is that, oh, Milton is taking Dak Prescott's job. And I'm kind of like, if he's that good, then why did New England let him go? It's like, wasn't he going to be the third string quarterback? I'm just kind of like, did I miss something? I don't know if it's so much as a belief in Milton as it is just for a hate for Dak. That's what it is it's just a hate for Dak Prescott. So we've got that. We got Micah Parsons' deal that's pretty close to being done. I was hoping that it was going to be done before tomorrow, so that way I could say to Micah at the autograph signing show, can I hold something? Can I hold something? But that didn't happen. So there's that. And we've still got, I think we're still not finished just yet. Stephen Jones, whether you like him or not, he's been a man of his word. Seriously. When Jerry said last year, we're going all in, it was kind of like, well, I've never really known us to not really be all in. Jerry says a lot of things kind of, right? Andy Dalton wasn't a bad quarterback. I was actually shocked when he got the concussion. Not one of our players tried to check on it. They really didn't. You literally, I'll tell you what, Regina, it reminded me of, we had my senior year. Thank you, Walker Wade. I appreciate that. Prayers for your family, Mark. Love you, bro. Love you too, man. And every time I'm driving down the road now, I'm looking at tractor trailers trying to figure out which ones are the old ones because of what you told me versus all the new ones. We had a quarterback, a sophomore, a junior, my senior year, who was an arrogant SOB. And he was always cussing at us offensive linemen and stuff. And we were all seniors. And the very last game of the year, we did the famous lookout block. And that's when we went up to the line of scrimmage and we told the defense, listen, we ain't going to block you. Jack him up. And we literally snapped the ball and we turned around and said, look out. They rang his bell, knocked him out. And we just let him lay there. And that reminded me when Andy Dalton, I remember exactly when you were talking about Regina, when he got jacked up, everybody just left his ass laying on the ground. That goes to show you that they didn't give a rat's ass about him. Going all in wouldn't have worked anyway. They had nowhere near a team to do it. Well, the Realist fan, they would have been better. Well, you can look back revisionist history right now and say maybe that would have been true, but you can't let go 9 starters and not replace them. You can't let go 9 starters and not replace them and think that you're going to be as good the next year. Had they actually tried to do something, and I'll be honest with you, the fact that we are actually bringing in, I think this is a great move to get Joe Milton in now. And the reason I say that is typically we're either drafting a quarterback late, like Ben DiNucci, or we're bringing in guys at the end of training camp. OTA starts on the 14th of this month. That means they're going to be in there doing drills. They're going to be lifting weights and things together as a team, and doing stuff. And then in a couple weeks, going to start doing installs and talking about the new plays and stuff. We got a new, technically, offensive coordinator and a new philosophy. We got a new defensive coordinator, and they're going to need to get this stuff up to speed. And I really want to see Micah Parsons there. Hit the like button. Thanks, Logan Motorsports. They're not hearing you, bro. You are absolutely right. Loyal. It was disgusting. Your dad lives through you. Never forget that. Make him proud. Amen on that one. We need a backup with Rush gone. Well, we did need a backup. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Although Will Grier, he's had his moments. Will Grier, don't sleep on him. He's actually got a little bit of experience on him, and he knows the Cowboys as well. The question will be will Milton beat him out? It might be Will Grier's the number 2. But the good thing about Joe Milton, when you think about even if the only guaranteed money for Trey Lance is $2 million, that's almost 2 years of. Trey Lance is $2 million for 1 year. You got Joe Milton for the next 3 years for 3.5. Crazy Corvette, how you doing? Let's see if Milton can beat out Grier. That was cold when they didn't help him up, but that sends a message. But it seemed like after that time, things kind of changed a little bit. When you get, that was his beating into the gang. You had to get knocked out before you become a gang member. You can always find out what type of person a quarterback is by the number of teammates that go out and aid his defense. Well, you remember how Zach Martin was when people took a late hit, Washington? Zach Martin got the 15-yard penalty over there swinging for his boys. Jeff Lee, of course, loves the boobies. Boobies for life. I love boobies. I need to put a chair in the stream. How about some butt? Oh, geez. This is a butt crack free zone, man. Butt crack free. I apologize if I'm not prepared like I usually am. I sat here for about an hour debating on whether or not to try and do a live stream tonight or not. And I literally 2 minutes beforehand was like, I'm going to try. So thank you for bearing with me. Mark, play him his song. Oh, I don't even have it set up in here. There you go, Momo.
My home team, my loyalty, I'm at Uptown Royalty. We fight for all DC, who are we? I speak facts, I'm not making riddles. The Hawks open big old holes for John Riggle. Chantella's on the team, you knew.
Okay, I can only take that for so much. Yeah, y'all funny. But no, seriously though, let's ask some real questions here. So since we do have Logan Motorsports and Philadelphia and things in here and Momo and stuff, are you really confident in your team for next year, Momo? How do you think your team? What's your over and under for your team next year? Drew, I need to stay busy. And that's the honest truth. I can't sit. I'm like a Mexican jumping bean. I have to move. If I sit around and do nothing, I go crazy. And I've been working in the workshop some today. I've been, of course, at my mom's house and doing some stuff for her. Yeah, I've got something mentally wrong with me. My wife is like, you need to stop and move. And it's like, no. I gotta cook something. I gotta build something, or I gotta clean up something, or I gotta shoot a video or something. I have to stay busy. I know some people, because doing nothing is sitting in a chair and probably crying. Can't do that. Can't do that, bro. It's not that I don't think about them, because I do, because I can look around and I can say I am my dad, or a big piece of me is my dad. Me sitting here as a Cowboy fan is solely because of my dad. Washington 10 games or less. Dallas 8 wins or less. Eagles sweep the division 12 to 14 games. Book it. I'm going to disagree with that a little bit because I think here's what's okay. Let me say this. This is crazy. Okay. Unless we are Bobby Beninsky, Dallas will win games this year unless Milton is in. And I agree with Bobby. Shout out to Bobby. He's an Eagle fan. Coyote. Howdy, Mr. Holmes. Thank you, Coyote. I appreciate that. Oh, shit. I don't have a Coyote, but damn. I was out in my backyard at dusk here to go feed the fish. And I had, one of the kids left a big container of fish food on the bench out there. And I'm looking around. I'm like, where'd the fish food bucket go? And it's gone. It's gone. And there's a lady up on the trail, and she said, "Are you looking for the coyote?" The red fox. I was like, the red fox? She said, yeah. She said the red fox jumped over the fence that was in your backyard. And I'm like, the fuck? And I was like, I've seen, little red foxes a couple of years ago. She's like, oh, no, he's grown up. He's real big now. I'm like, so I got a freaking fox in the backyard here, and he's been stolen my fish food. So when I saw coyote, I thought of the red fox. Anyway, I want to say that we had everything that could go wrong. We had Stephen A. Smith literally say, what can go wrong will go wrong. Dak Prescott got hurt. We lost 3 edge rushers before the end of training camp. Diggs was never right. Deron Bland was hurt. We didn't realize we could run the football till middle of the season with Rico. Zach Martin was beat up. Tyler Guyton was a penalty magnet. We had literally everything that could go wrong. And had it not been for an idiot touching the blocked punt past the line of scrimmage, we probably win 8 games last year. Great trade for Dallas. He can throw 85 yards. Damn. Yeah, but his accuracy isn't quite there. And here's what's interesting. The Eagles wanted him. The Eagles wanted him. But the Cowboys got the deal done. They were supposedly offered more than what the Cowboys offered. Yeah, Dak was, but here's the problem, though, Drew. Yeah, Dak wasn't quite right. But his number 1 target wasn't in training camp. His number 2 wide receiver had an infection in his knee. He had a rookie offensive tackle, a rookie center, and they had no clue as who's going to run the football. Bro, there was nothing good about everything. And you had a defense that literally had 2 games that they couldn't force a single punt. Not one. Not one punt. You understand that, right? The team was just bad. But that's what happens when you lose 9 starters and you don't have everybody there for training camp. You're right, Coyote. A big arm does not mean much. Jamarcus Russell could throw it 75 yards on his knees, but he was booty cheeks. That's right, he was. That knee, we kept doing the scissor, the codeine syrup thing and all that. Do you really think Dallas roster is close? I didn't say it was close to the world championship. But here's what I'm going to say, though. Brock Purdy actually reiterated something I've kind of said. It's hard to repeat, and one of the reasons is because you play more games and have less time to recover. And you've actually lost quite a few players on your defensive side of the ball. I'm not going to say that you're not going to be good, because you are, but you lost your offensive coordinator. You lost some players. You got the Super Bowl, and generally speaking, you get it, a little bit of arrogance and people relax, man. We just won the Super Bowl, man. We all that in the ham sandwich. I think the Eagles aren't going to be as good as they were last year. Because I can say we've had 4 Super Bowl teams. 4 Super Bowl teams. Yeah, 4 Super Bowl teams that didn't win the division the next year. Giants won 2. They did not win the division the next year. You guys went to 2. Did not win the division the next year. So I'm taking the odds, Drew. I'm not pulling that out my ass. I'm just saying. And it's kind of arrogant for you guys to think that you're not going to take a step back. The Commanders, for all we know, the Commanders could be this year's New York Giants. That Jaden Daniels has a sophomore slump. That maybe Debo and Michael Gallup don't really help out. Bobby Beninsky, stop getting a hard-on for Dak in shape. Milton will be a starter before the end of the season. Ham off the bone. Okay, Bobby. I appreciate the super chat. I really do appreciate that. But come on, man. Don't wish anybody to have the meat ripped off the bone. Nope, you see it. I'll destroy your secondary already. We break the tread this year. The only threat I see is Washington. 3 quarterbacks with the same skill set. Let's the offensive scheme right for once. The Eagles will fall from the top as Saquon weathers. There you go. Timothy, we shall see. All righty. Pretty much every Super Bowl team takes a step back. And of course, the Eagles, they swear that their shit don't stink. True, Drew. And so was the 2017 Eagles team, right? So was the 2 New York Giants team, the New York Giants team that beat the 18-0 New England Patriots. That was a very talented team too. Those guys did not win the Super Bowl. Win the division the next year. Cody Saquon will have another. I'll tell you what. I can guarantee one thing. I can guarantee Saquon is not having the same season next year. He is not having back-to-back 2,000-yard seasons. Guarantee that. I believe that the Eagles could go to another Super Bowl with Hurts again. D'Angelo. The Eagles are the only team with a running back in the whole division. We will just pretend the Eagles front four. I didn't say they would. I didn't say that. But, sometimes strange things happen, Linda. Nothing is guaranteed. Breadwinner Roger, much love, Mother Mark. The 2017 is nowhere as talented as this team. Son, there's been a lot of talented teams that the next year didn't. Just saying. But keep the faith, though. If you fall on your face, just come back and say, you know what, Mark? For once, you were right. For once, you were right. How about we just do that? And we'll see in the end what we got. All righty, good people. I am about cried out. I appreciate everybody being here. Athlete second. I think the Cowboys are going to be at least second in the division next year. I really do. I think that they've been pretty good so far at filling in the holes. I don't think they're finished yet. I think they have one big move that they're going to do. And don't be surprised if they do. I think right now they're going to hunker down and get ready for the draft. And then after the 28th, when it won't hurt them with the comp picks because they love their comp picks, that they will be making a bigger move. We all have losses, no disrespect, but Eagles run the East. Saquon will run it. Well, I'm going to say we've had more additions than subtractions this year, which is not the norm for the Cowboys. Getting Dante Fowler back will help. Getting Sam Williams back will help. Getting Solomon Thomas is an improvement. Getting the 2 linebackers that we got, we actually are in better shape than we were. I'm not saying the cake is done. I'm not trying to say we have as much talent as the Eagles yet, but we're getting a little bit closer. All righty, good people. As always, I appreciate y'all, and I'm going to finish this thing. Tomorrow we will be at the autograph signing show in Chantilly, and we're going to get some stuff autographed to give away to you guys. So as always, I appreciate you all, and thank you all very much.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night, the party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old